Okay, we're doing July 44, and it's the Italian turn now. So the Italians are going to build 6 infantry and 2 tanks, and that's it. Now let's rip around the map because all the action on the Italian side is on this side. I got my little tabbies down. All I have is combat moves shown. I haven't done any non-combats. So, I had a stick. There it is, right in front of my camera here. So the dude from Eritrea moves into French Somaliland. The dudes in Abyssinia, 2 of them and a commander, go into British Somaliland. 1 dude all by himself wanders into the unprotected Italian Somaliland. The 2 aircraft from here are going to go 1-2 and attack British Somaliland. There's a single militia there. This tank from here went 1. The mech went 1, and they blitzed together there for 2. Alright, those are my only attacks. This one is the only one that has any rolling. So let's get some rolling done. And we'll just deal with Africa, and then we'll move on to the next section of the map here. Alright, so we've got a fighter and a tactical, along with 2 infantry and a commander against a militia. So, 2 infantry bumped up to 3. There is no river, there are no mountains. 2 infantry at 3, fail. Fighter at 7, miss. Tactical at 8, missed again. Everybody on attack missed. Let's see if the militia gets anybody. No, the militia missed. Alright, tactical at 8. There we go, we got a hit. And militia back 2, miss. Okay, so finally that got resolved. So this one here, British Somaliland, that dude is gone. Let's see what we got here. There's no income, so we're just going to flip that. There, the French Somaliland, no income, we're just going to flip that. Alright, let's put those 2 dudes back on there. And where did I put the commander? There he is. And the Italian Somaliland, that's a buck from the British, so I guess I don't need anything for that. This one, Tanganyika, has no income. However, there is an income here in Rhodesia. That goes up a buck from the British. So the British go down $2 and the Italians go up 2. Alright. So let's clear this stuff off the map here. And these aircraft have to land somewhere. And they still have 2 moves left. So from here, they can't land there, they can't land there, they can't land there. They can land there, but they can't reach, so we're just going to put them in Kordofan there, which is 1-2 through Abyssinia. That's their move of 4. Alright, so let's wander over to our income change, and we'll change that, and then we'll take a look at some convoys, and then we're done our attacks. So the British go down 2 to 17, and the Italians go up 2 to 18. So there we go. The British were at 19, they're now to 17. Italians from 16 to 18. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Alright, now let's do some convoys. There is no escort on this line. So we're going to hit it with this coastal sub here on the convoy first, and then we'll see which line we hit with that one there. Alright, so there we got a view of the convoy and the dice tray. That's fine. So the coastal sub is +1 on black. And the defense is even on red. And they tie. 4 + 1 is 5 versus 5. No change. All right, now this one here, there is an escort. It is next door, but it's going to be attacking a different line, so I don't think that applies. But we'll consider that as an option here. We can try it out, and we'll see. But the escort doesn't apply to this line, so this is +2 for the Italian regular sub in C-Zone 79 on the Mediterranean line. And no escorts on the internal line on that line. So it's +2 for the black and even for the red. So that is 5 versus 3. So the British are going to lose $2. We'll put it underneath this British convoy here. Alright. And that is it for my attacks for Italy. No more attacks. Here we got this right here. Italy's wartime economy roll is 8. Alright. There we go. We got 8. I'm going to put that on top of that so I remember. Let's get this out of the way here. Now, so all this stuff is moved. So it can't move anywhere. These 2 subs have done something, so they also can't move anywhere. Everybody else in for Italy over here. Let's see if we can. There we go. So these. Oh, let's zoom that out a bit. Zoom that in. There we go. So the Russians got a fair amount of stuff over here that may come bother the Italians in here. So we don't really want to take too many troops out of here. This dude in Iraq, he's just chilling out, so we'll leave him in there. I don't really know what to do with any of this stuff, so we're just going to leave that there. There's no other real attacks close to the Italians. However, the British, the Americans got kicked out of here by the Germans this turn. Now the British have landed, and the Americans are going to be able to land behind them before the Germans go. So just on the off chance, we're going to do this. We're going to move a British unit there, or an Italian unit there, and we'll give them 2 mountain troops. One there, one up there in Barcelona. Actually, we don't really care one way or another. We'll just put them both in there, and we're going to scoop some dudes up on the transports here. We've got these 2 guys here in Malta. They're going to throw themselves on one of these transports and get at it over there. And we're going to take 2 guys out of Rome. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to throw them into there as well. So that is 4 dudes we're throwing into Rome or into Gibraltar. So I'm just going to chip that out. I don't really need that anymore. So there's a total of 10 Italian regular dudes over here. 3 green chips. Alright. So that is basically going to be the Italian turn for placements. So that is the Italian turn right there. Now I need to just place these units. There's only 2 places I can place them, so I'm just going to go across the map here so I can reach those guys. Can't really reach it from the other side there. It's a good thing I chipped those out. I'm out of Italians. So we're going to place 3 infantry in Rome at the medium factory. We're going to place 3 infantry and 2 tanks. Hey, look at that. That's surprising how that worked out. Over here. Oh, and I forgot we were supposed to move this stuff in with the fleet. And we're going to put this sub over here for now. We'll throw the sub in the fleet, you never know. You can always go somewhere else and convoy somewhere else next turn. I should have used it this turn. Can't get everything right. So that's the placement. There's the $8. Plus they get the Italians get their $8 wartime economy, $6 for bonuses, Gibraltar, Cairo, and no enemy warships. And they collect their own $18. So I need to get more money. And $18. So they got 18, 20, $32 in the bank. So the Italians have 32 in the bank, which is quite a bit more than the British have. The British only have 17, thanks to that those convoys. Alright, so that is the British turn. We're going to shut this down, and since the Camp T is non-existent, we're just going to do the Americans next. July 44, American turn. We're still trying to get that victory condition, or victory point with tech. We only need one more tech to get it. So we're going to be rolling for that one. We are looking at what's already on the build chart here for the carrier and the 2 battleships. We're just going to move those forward. We got 2 planes we're going to build to place on the battleship. We got 2 elite marines, 6 infantry, and 2 more transports. And that is the builds. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll some tech here. There we go. So let's roll some tech. We need an 8 for jet aircraft. These have been very elusive tech, so there we go. $8 was a waste. Now we move on to doing some attacks here. I have non-combat moves on the other side of the map rather than attacks, so we're just going to do the attacks first. So attacks are pretty basic. There's only 2. We've got this one here. We've got an amphibious assault, and I don't really want to split the fleet up too much. So you know what? We're gonna just be. I'm just gonna be Mr. Super cautious here. No, we're just gonna send 1 transport ahead here. We're gonna take out that. Hopefully, let's give them the tactical. And then on this one here, we're gonna take out this blocker and hopefully these 2 transports. So it's gonna be the fighter off the carrier. It's gonna, which is located here on that fleet card there. It's going to go 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, and then this 1 transport from here is moving 1, and the tactical is moving 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So we have both the aircraft have come from a commander in the fleet, so they get a bonus of that. The commander's staying on the ground, so he's not going to affect these 2 guys that attack at a 3. But there's no mountains there, so they get to attack at a 3. Alright, so let's, without delaying too much, let's do this Palau here. It's the easiest of the 2. So we're going to have 2 infantry, or elite infantry, or elite marines, sorry, at 3. They'll be black, and we're going to have orange for the tactical, which is rolling at an 8 because it comes from a commander. And we missed everything. Alright, and let's see what that 1 militia back's going to do at 2. Miss, thankfully. So we're going to roll this again. 2 black at 3, 1 at 8. Still can't get a hit. And the militia is going to roll 2 back. And same thing. This is round 3. We got a hit with a tactical finally. Alright, so 1 militia back. That's it. So plow is done. It's got a value, I believe, of nothing, except for bragging rights, and an aircraft landing location, which could have aided the Japanese should they have wanted to mount an attack on our fleet. So this Japanese militia is gone, and these 2 dudes are on there instead. And I know it's not non-combat, but this guy's going to fly back to the carrier. Somebody's going to put him on the fleet carrier over there. Now let's move on to this next attack here. So we've got 2 destroyers at 4 and 1 fighter at 7 versus a destroyer at 4. So I'm going to do the same thing I was doing there with dice. I'm going to use the 2 blacks for the destroyers at 4, and I'm going to use this orange for the fighter at 7. And the fighter's got a hit at 6. Alright, and the destroyer's at destroyer back at 4. That's a miss. So that was a bloodless win for the Americans. And we have this destroyer and these 2 transports off the map. Alright, so the fighter is also going to fly home to the fleet. So 1, 2, and I'm just going to put them on the fleet card. Done. Now, there we go. So that is this side of the map for it. That's actually all the American attacks. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some non-combat moves here. So this tactical here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 from an airbase, and land at this new airbase. This coastal sub from a shipyard is going to go 1, 2. This one here is going to go 1, 2. Oh, I forgot we got this convoy over here. The Americans are going to be convoying the Americans will be convoying the Japanese. So we're just going to put this right over here. The Americans are black at +2, and the Japanese have no escorts, so they're red at even. And 3 versus 1 + 2 is 3, so no change. So that convoy is now off, no winnings. Alright, what else were we going to do here? These destroyers are going to be moving 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I'm just going to put them on the fleet card over here. So that's 4 more destroyers. And one of the destroyers that was already here, we're going to use to build a little bit more of a screen right there. We're basically just boxing out the Japanese here. So, I mean, this destroyer can go 1, 2, 3. This one here can go 1, 2, 3, but it can't actually hit anything. Right? So we're just boxing out the Japanese. Got our blocker shield up here, and there's 2 here because I wanted to make sure if I took a loss, it wasn't the fighter, and I'd still be able to use it as a blocker to keep the Japanese fleet from moving 1, 2, 3 into here, right, and or coming through this way to hit that. I mean, that transport's still vulnerable. Let's non-combat a cruiser into there. That way it's not an easy kill on the transport. We might want to keep that transport for later. Alright, so Since we're here, we're going to show these changes. We're going to move this fleet carrier forward. We can place it this turn. And these two battleships are moving to stage 3. Alright, and next turn they'll move to stage 2, and the final turn we'll be able to place them in case we need them. And that is it. The Americans do not have wartime economy. So now we're going to go across to the other side and we're going to show some non-combat moves over here. Alright, so this entire fleet here. There's a mistake. There we go. And, oh, look at that. We got you at a weird angle here. There we go. Alright, so this entire fleet here, for some reason, there we go. For some reason this thing's getting all juggled around as I move it back and forth. There. Sorry about that. So the fleet, located right here, is on this card here. And what we're going to do here, these transports are also located here. I don't own the Navy base, so I can't move the full 3 back home, which really bites. That was the whole purpose for taking this last time, so that we could do the 3 back home. And Russia was starting to expand too much on the other side, so we wanted to eliminate some of their holdings. That took away a possible victory point from the Russians. You know what we're going to do? These guys got to move back to go pick up, but they're not going to make it the whole way, so we're just going to move them to here. We're going to move these 2 coastal subs in there to join them. But these 3 transports here, these 2 can go 1, 2, 3 from a base, and this one here can also go 1, 2, 3 from a base. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 transports with 6 dudes. So we got 2 Marines from here. Oop. Just regular Marines. And we can bring another 4 dudes. And we're just going to add those to what the British have over here. Sound fair? We're also going to fly in the seaplane at 1, 2, 4. Throw a seaplane in there. And I don't have any other aircraft. Whoa, 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 whoa. I just realized something here. We're going to take 2 of those infantry off. We're going to add 2 of these tanks. So 2 tanks. And let's get some chips here. 3 white chips. We'll leave 2 chips here for the infantry. And we're going to leave 2 more chips here underneath that for the Americans. And we're going to bring this American commander along too. Why not? Okay, so that is what we've done. These things are still vulnerable to these units here. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to put a blocker down there. Alright, so that's from the fleet. Let's just move 1. That way it blocks these subs from just going past, taking out those transports. I'm not sure what else to do here. I think that should be good. Alright, so that is the plan for the Americans. So the Americans are safe from the German fleet up here, and the Americans are saving all these transports from the Italian fleet in the Med. The Italians need to keep at least one of these battleships safe in the Med to get that victory condition, and they have no others being built. So if they did attack this American fleet, which has got 2 full carriers, an elite battle, an Iowa, 2 regular battleships, 3 cruisers, and 2 destroyers. Well, 3 destroyers actually. The one on escort duty would participate in the fight and come off of escort duty, I believe. So versus 1 carrier, 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, 4 destroyers, and 1, 2, 3 subs. I don't think the Italians are going to do anything there, so the Americans are probably safe, and the Germans would have to get through at least 1 blocker screen to hit this. I mean, they could hit it with all their aircraft. What do they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 for landing. Yeah, it's possible. Possible. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that's very likely. Yeah, so that should hopefully hold off the Germans if they should decide to attack. And if not, well, then we're going to get pretty screwed here because we don't really have a second wave landing next turn. The Americans are really not prepared for this. Alright, so now we're going to do some placing of units. So what we are doing on this side of the map is we are going to be placing 2 elites over here. And we got 6 infantry. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 off. And we're going to put 2 more on. So we're going to swap that for these 5. Right? So that's 3 extra. So that's 2 that have been placed out of the 6. And we're going to put the other 4 up here in New York. And we're going to place 2 transports over here. I think we should be okay Navy-wise in the numbers versus the Axis on this side. I don't know. I don't really know for sure, but I know that right now we're outgunned on this side, thanks to the Russians and their crazy gambit, and then the Australians crushing the Russians, and then the Japanese crushing the Australians. So we're going to do some naval placements on this side. I'm going to take that carrier off the build chart there, the place units, and we're going to give it the tactical and the fighter that we were building. And they will be placed at the shipyard in this factory for the aircraft. There we go. So that is the American turn essentially. So now the next turn here, or the next video I'm going to do is the summary. We're going to move on from there. So you folks enjoy, and I'll be back for January 45 next turn. See you then.